So we finished control and coordination division, right? Good. I can't hear that. Okay. Okay, good evening, all of you. Good evening, Hari. Okay. So today we'll discuss with the heredity. Okay. Actually, you finished. You want
want how do organisms reproduce? Not this one. Okay. But anyway, so I thought this week someone told we will discuss with heredity. No. Okay, fine. We'll do with this. But finish control and coordination. So how do organisms reproduce? Tell me. How do organisms reproduce? What is the question for you? Answer for you, this question. Organism reproduce by sexual means. Asexual means or by vegetative propagation. Okay. Asexual, sexual, vegetative. Based on this particular chapter. Okay, in three different aspects, the methods are. Can you understand? Fine. Next question. Why do organisms reproduce? Uh, Species to create individuals. Okay, fine. And then anything else? To create more individuals means okay. Replace for the dead one. Correct. The species will not be lost. More of such kind of organisms are produced. Or rather, anything else? Only for means for all this chapter, more produced, more species produced, and what else is there? Generation to continue, continuity of life forms. இது எல்லாமே பார்த்தா அடுத்த லெவலுக்கு தான் இருக்குது. What is the benefit of the organism for that particular organism by reproduction? The organism can survive only if it reproduces. No. Is there any use for the organism? That particular organism. Progeny will produce fine. Who is the benefiter? Beneficiary of that process? Progeny. Okay. But what is the benefit for that particular organism? Is there any benefit? Is it a simple process? What is the benefit of that particular organism? Anyway, the gene gets carried on, but finally, who is the beneficiary? The progeny, right? But what is the particular organism is going to gain out of it? Huh? Whole species, okay. My question is, why Hari should reproduce? Means, see, listen. Actually, like production of progeny, next thing. See, organism must have a one of the physiological process. Okay, one of the physiological process. Anyway, without that, the organism need not to, means it will not increase its survival advantage or whatever, but one of the physiological process. For example, we should have a male reproductive system. And only we should able to live a normal life. Okay, like we can develop as a male. If we do not have a reproductive system, we cannot develop into a complete species. Okay, see, most of the processes are connected with, like each and every processes in the body are connected with each other. In the body, how many organ systems and how many processes we study? Like digestion, respiration, 11, digestion, respiration, excretion, control and coordination, everything. So, like that, the reproduction also is one of the important physiological process. Okay, like it is very, very essential for the organism for its well-being. Okay, for its well-being. Okay, we must have a proper reproductive system. That system is important, but need not to reproduce. But that system plays a crucial role in normal well-being of that organism. We must have a definite and proper functional reproductive system. Okay, though we reproduce or do not reproduce, that comes secondary, but the proper functioning of that system is very, very important. Okay, fine. So in that way, also, it doesn't mean that we are going to die without reproduction, but for well-being, not for survival, but living well. Okay, this process, this cycle is very important in every organism. Okay, especially sexually reproducing organisms should have their reproductive system with good functioning. Okay, but essential for life? No, it is not very essential. Okay, it is not like nutrition, all other thing. Okay, unlike a hotel, not necessary to maintain life, but a cycle. Together it plays as one of the component, it is having its own significance. Okay, but apart from that, if the organisms, all the organisms are not reproducing, definitely like the continuity of species, all you said, will be affected. Okay, fine. Next, what is species? Hmm. Species means, how do you define species? You use this term, right? Species. Species means what? Same family. No. Family means in the taxonomical hierarchy, species, genus. Have you heard about this? I think in class 9, did you study? Species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, kingdom. Have you heard about this? Species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, kingdom. Class in five kingdom classification. You studied or not? Oh, omitted in class 9. Okay, fine. It was there or not? For all omitted biological class. Anyway, but please know what is species. Species means group of similar organisms. Okay, group of similar organisms. Similar in the sense, the size, the shape, the form, all characters, physiology, morphology, anatomy, everything. Okay, group of similar individuals, and they have the potency to reproduce among themselves and produce their own type. Which means what? They should be similar. Okay, in all characters, they should be able to reproduce and then should be able to produce their own kind. Okay, similar mosquito and then able to reproduce and then produce their own kind of organisms. So all these characters define what? Species. They defines what? Species. Okay. By reproduction, same species is produced. That's a very, very important. Okay, fine. How do you define reproduction? Venkat, definition for like how do organism reproduce? Why do organism reproduce? Okay, and then what is species? Now, define reproduction. Define reproduction. See, very simple process, right? How do you define reproduction? That is sexual reproduction. New individuals, new offspring form. Yes, Kaushik, you want to tell something? Kaushik?
No, sir.
What, Kaushik?
Sir, I will
See,
say.
listen. Yeah. See, reproduction. Did I give you the definition already? I think I would have given. Take your class notes, check and tell me. Hmm. I think I would have told you. Hmm. Maybe you would have forgot. PPP. Naval. Triple three APV சொல்லலையா? Produce progeny, new offspring. சொல்லுங்க. அடுத்து progeny, more or less similar to their own kind. Do you remember? Say PPP means parents produce progeny. PP means what? Parent produce R Madri progeny. Okay, parents produce progeny. That is reproduction. Can you understand? Parents produce progeny. Okay, simple definition for reproduction. Biological process by which organisms produce their own progeny more or less similar to their own kind. That's this. Similar reproduce. Maybe. Huh. Huh? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. See, that is called what? A or T's. Arts. Arts means what? Assisted reproductive technology. In fertility center, what they will do? Do you think they are creating baby in lab? Do you think so? No. Test tube baby. What will happen in test tube baby? What do you think? like you do, like you grow potted plants. ஒரு பாட்டு அதுல சீடு போட்டு அப்படியே வளர்க்கறது அப்படின்னு நினைச்சிட்டீங்களா? See, from the father, sperm cells are selected. Okay, sperm cells are selected. From the mother, egg cells are selected. In the lab, egg cell plus sperm cell are fertilized. This is called what? IVF. IVF means what? In vitro fertilization. It is fertilized in the lab. Now this will develop into what? Zygote. This zygote, then maybe 2-cell stage, like this, 2-cell stage or 4-cell stage. This is called now what? Embryo. Only listen, for the 2-cell stage, 3-cell stage to occur, it takes 2 to 3 days. How many days? Egg is fertilized and then 2 to 3 days it takes. And then what they will do? This embryo is transferred into womb, or you can say uterus. Can you understand? In the uterus only the development occurs. Okay? Can you understand? What only happens in test tube or in the glass big cup? What only occurs? Only fertilization occurs. In vitro means what? In lab. Outside the body, in the lab. Can you understand? Only the fertilization occurs there. After 3 days, it should be transferred to a mother's womb. Okay? Mostly same, something called biological mother, surrogate mother. How Nayanthara got her baby? Surrogacy. Someone else. Someone else only gave birth to the 2 babies, twin babies. Yes or no? So, since though maybe the sperms and egg cells are connected from Nayanthara and Vigneshivan and fertilized in the lab, but the baby developed in what? Another female only. So they are called actually what? Biological parents. Nayanthara and Vigneshivan are called what? Biological parents. Okay, anyway, without parents, gametes are not produced. There is no gametes, no such offspring can be produced. Okay, fine. So parent produced, that's a common term actually. Other than natural, artificial, sexual, asexual, many modes are there. See, reproduction is an umbrella term. Okay, but no human babies can develop in a lab. Okay, but science is always a self-correction and discipline. Did I tell you about Ectolife, a company called Ectolife? Okay, you know that? Ectolife, note it down. Ectolife. This is a company, Ectolife. Where do we develop? Endo. Endo means inside mother's womb. Ectolife means outside the, see like this. Listen. This is one womb, this is one womb, this is one womb, this is one womb. That's a full laboratory of womb, artificial womb. It is having what? Artificial womb. That's a lab. Their baby develops. You know what they are telling? I think in December 2022 only they published it. You can see a video actually, animated video actually, but what they claim is they can develop 30,000 babies per year. What they are telling? 30,000 human babies in artificial womb per year. Okay, so now it is possible, but there also what is involved? Gametes. Okay, I have to give sperm cell, someone has to give egg cell, fertilization should be done, then the progeny should develop. You can't, listen, you can't create or chemically produce a sperm cell or egg cell. You can't do that. Only from a parent you can get the gametes. No other source for gamete production. So it's a biological process. Okay, only with cells you can develop cells from parents. So parent only can able to produce progeny. Okay, what does cell theory says? Hi Hari, what cell theory says? Last year you would have studied. All organisms are made up of cell. Cells are the basic unit of life. Life arises from pre-existing life. Cells can arise only from pre-existing life. Similarly, that life arises from pre-existing life. Only from living organisms. Another living organism can be produced. Okay? Fine. Now, what is DNA copying mechanism? The next very important question. DNA and DNA copying mechanism. What is it? This is the answer. DNA copying mechanism is the answer. What is the question for that? Do organisms create exact copies of themselves? Do organisms create exact copies of themselves? Is it possible? Venkat? Yes. Yes, you should justify. Okay, yes. Clones. What are clones? How do you define clone? Genetically and morphologically identical copies. Okay, is it there in your book? Definition for clone. Okay, look at that. Genetically and morphologically identical copies are actually called what? Clones. Okay, clones are basically produced, means exactly same. They are what? Exactly same. Is it clear? And they are produced by what method? Clones are produced in asexual method. In vegetative reproduction, an asexual method. Okay? In vegetative reproduction and asexual method, clones are produced. Okay? Good. How? How it is possible? What is the question? Do organisms create exact copies of themselves? Yes, you said clones and in vegetative propagation, exact copies are produced. How? What forms the mechanism? What is the main mechanism? DNA copying mechanism. Okay, so what is DNA copying mechanism? What is DNA copying mechanism? Before the cell, for example, take the fission as an example. Look at that, the fission as an example. Okay, this is binary fission, simple mode of reproduction in unicellular organism. You can see here nucleus. This is nucleus. Nucleus contains what? DNA. And look at that. What is reproduction? Asexual reproduction. Parent. This is the parent which produce daughter cell. Progeny. Yes or no? One parent produce two daughter cells. Okay. For this to occur, what is occurring? Do you remember what process is this? Do you remember? Elongation. And then what else you saw? DNA replication and karyokinesis. Okay, DNA replication here you saw. Okay, this image can be split into two. DNA replication and then karyokinesis. Can you understand? So, if DNA is not replicated, here you can definitely see only one cell, the DNA is replicated and they divide into two, they segregated and then two organisms are formed. Is it clear? So, what forms the basis of reproduction? DNA copying mechanism. If DNA is not replicating, copying itself, the cell cannot replicate. If the cell cannot replicate, organism cannot reproduce. Is it clear? Fine. So DNA copying mechanisms forms the basis of reproduction. Is it clear? Fine. And what is the other answer for this? Do organisms create exact copies of themselves? You said yes. If I say no, how will you justify? How will you justify? No. No exact copies are produced. Venkat is 100% similar like his father or mother, but he is combination of what? Venkat is combination of what? Hmm? Father and mother. So, only in asexual method, exact copies are produced. In sexual reproduction, okay? In sexual reproduction, what is the defining characters? What occurs in sexual reproduction? Genetic recombination. How? DNA from sperm cell, DNA from egg cell. They both are recombined to form what? Zygote. Can you understand? So we have paternal and maternal characters together. So genetic recombination, okay, which occurs in sexual reproduction. Is it clear? Sexual reproduction. So we show what? We show what? Variation. So in sexual reproduction, there is genetic recombination that results in what? Little variation. Okay? Can you understand? So, variation. Can you understand? We are very insignificantly vary from our parents. Okay? Combination because of genetic recombination. Now, what is the importance of this variation? We did accumulation of variation. Importance of variation in the sense, you can write this accumulation of variation. Accumulation of variation results in speciation. Accumulation of variation results in what? Speciation. Slowly, little variation. Slowly, it is accumulated. Finally, new species forms. Is it clear? That's the main thing about variation. Okay, variation, that's useful for survival of species over time. So, the organism need to, for example, what is adaptation? Have you heard about this term? Adaptation. Adaptation. Do you remember this term? What is adaptation? Just with example. Can you tell me an example? No more India, right? It's going to be Bharat. Yes. Chimasana. Hmm. Hmm. Body has to, what kind of change? Okay, anyway, for example, and yes. Hmm. Oh, camel which lives in desert will not go to Switzerland. Trip to Switzerland. Huh? Cannot come to land. Okay? Cannot come to India. Organism living in Antarctica cannot come to polar bear. So it cannot come to India. Okay, good. Anyway, very good. So listen, variation is useful for survival of the species over time. Understand giraffe. Just think example of giraffe. Okay, how it showed variation. In the early days of evolution, giraffe had smaller neck, normal up front or forelimb. They call it as what? Forelimb. Chinna neck, chinna forelimb. Like horse only giraffe was there. Okay, but appo they are telling only grassland were existing. What were existing? Grassland. Grassland means what? Just புல்வெளி தான். No forest. But என்ன ஆச்சுன்னா something called the herbivores, grazing animals. அவன் என்ன பண்ணிட்டான்னா புல்லு ஃபுல்லா சாப்பிட்டுறான் கீழே இருக்கிறதுனால. பட் ஜிராஃபிக்கு என்ன கிடைக்கல? கீழே சாப்பாடு கிடைக்கல. அப்போ மரத்துல மரம் எல்லாம் வருது, அங்க இருந்து தான் சாப்பிடணும் சாப்பாடு. ஓகே, அப்ப என்ன பண்ணுது? எக்கி எக்கி சாப்பிட ஆரம்பிக்குது. ஓகே, ஜம்ப் பண்ணி ஸ்லோலி என்ன ஆயிடுச்சு? மரம் பெருசாக ஜிராஃபியும் அந்த ஃபோர் லிம்பும் பெருசாயிடுச்சு, முன்னங்காலும் பெருசாயிடுச்சு. இப்படி இருந்து ஜிராஃபி இப்படி ஆயிடுச்சு. Can you understand? This is the normal animal இந்த ஷேப் தான் காமிக்கும், பட் ஜிராஃபி மட்டும் இப்படி காமிக்கும். பெரிய ஃபோர் லிம்ப், பெரிய நெக். Can you understand? So நின்னுக்கிட்டே மரத்துல சாப்பிடுறதுக்கு. This is called, it showed variation in its gene, in a germplasm. That's why slowly neck increased. Millions of years it took, not in one in a particular period. Lot of years, millions of years it took. Slowly the giraffe neck increased. Okay, size, length increased. That is why still giraffe are alive. Can you understand? They can able to what? Survive. Okay, so variation is an important characteristic for survival of the organism. Because of variation only they can adapt easily to the environment. Okay, and in what way variation is connected with that? See, I got one new character, I acquired a new character. This should be inherited to what? Giraffe neck size increased. That variation should be stored in germplasm, and through reproduction only that character to be inherited for all of the generation. Okay, so reproduction ensures even the variation shown by organism to be inherited. Can you understand? If there is no reproduction, though I develop thousands of qualities, it cannot be inherited. புரியுதா? reproduction process இல்லைன்னு சொன்னா வேரியேஷனே வராது. வேரியேஷனே அப்படியே வேரியேஷன் வந்துட்டாலும் ரீப்ரொடக்ஷன்னால தான் அந்த வேரியேஷன் எல்லா ஸ்பீஷிஸ்க்கும் போய்கிட்டே இருக்கும். புரிஞ்சுச்சிங்களா? 100,000 இயர்ஸ்க்கு முன்னாடி நமக்கு வந்த கேரக்டர் இன்னும் வந்துட்டே இருக்கும், ரீப்ரொடக்ஷன்னால தான். ஓகே, ஃபைன். ஸோ நெக்ஸ்ட் நீங்க சொல்லுங்க பார்க்கலாம். இப்ப what are the different methods of asexual reproduction? Yeah, fission. Example of fission. Fission oda types enna? Types of fission. Multiple fission. Binary fission oda rendu type enna? Amoeba, okay. Amoeba and leishmania. What is the difference between amoeba oda binary fission and leishmania oda binary fission? Very good. See, listen, inge parunga. In amoeba, the splitting of two cells during division can take place in any plane. Okay, at any orientation, irregular binary fission. But leishmania, only at particular longitudinal, only here it starts. Okay, there it finish. So this is what in such organism, binary fission occurs in a definite orientation. Can you understand? Any orientation, definite orientation. Is it clear? Binary fission. Clones are produced here. And then what? Multiple fission. Okay, what is multiple fission? Look at that. Plasmodium. Malarial parasite Plasmodium. Yeah, look at that. How many are there? Some 20, 18 to 20. Can you understand? See, within the organism, like that, many spores are produced. Okay, and then if favorable condition comes, the wall breaks, each spore develop into one adult organism. Is it clear? From one unit, you get 100 organism. Is it clear? Yes, Hari, you count it. Maybe it is easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Can you understand? Maybe 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. So 50 progenes minimum can be produced by multiple fission. So many progeny can be produced. Okay, fine. So what are the three organisms? Amoeba, leishmania, plasmodium. What disease all these organisms causes? All are parasites. Amoebic dysentery, amoebiasis, leishmaniasis, thalassia. அடுத்து Plasmodium vivax, malaria. Okay, sometimes they connect it with the diseases also. Okay, fine. What is next? Spirogyra. Example for fragmentation. What is fragmentation? Spirogyra is unicellular or multicellular? Simple multicellular organism. Okay, see, Spirogyra is simple multicellular organism. Okay, fine. That reproduced by fragmentation. Body develops into many fragments. Okay, and each fragment develop into new organism. Okay, oi, அடுத்து regeneration. What is regeneration? Example enna? Regeneration can an organism example. Regeneration. Hydra and planaria. Okay, means organism can be cut into any number of pieces. Each pieces grow into complete organism. Okay, regenerate. Actually, the lost part. Okay, the cells which have its own potentials to regenerate. If they have that potential, then the organism's body part can be reproduced. Look at that. See, this is planaria. Body split into three parts. Part 1, part 2, part 3. And part 1 is old. Part 2 new. Okay. Here you can see part 2 is old. Part 1 and part 3 are new. Here part 3 is old, new one is generated. Can you understand? The lost fragment remains in the body, means, and the new one develops. Okay, this is what? Regeneration. Okay, regeneration. Okay, basically, however, not same as reproduction, but by this process, organisms can be able to reproduce, make its copy. If something is lost, it doesn't mean they can regenerate its part, body part. Okay, fine. This sentence is very important. Regeneration is not the same as reproduction, since most organisms would not normally depend on being cut and able to reproduce. It is not common for many of the organisms. Only some special organism can regenerate their body parts. Some organisms partially regenerate. For simple organisms like Hydra and Planaria, it is the mode of reproduction, but not for all the organisms. It is generalized. Here, whole organism can develop. For lizard, if you cut the lymph, it will not develop. Forelimb, lower limb will not develop. Only the tail region. Even for you, if I cut your nose, will it regenerate? Hari, மூக்கு cut பண்ணிட்டா, you are my favorite boy. Okay, cut பண்ணா வளருமா வளராதா? But கீழே விழுந்து அடிபட்டுடுச்சு. So some part of our body will have the regeneration potential. Okay, some part of the body will have the regeneration. நம்ம கிட்டயும் இருக்கு. Okay, நம்ம கிட்ட இருக்கு. Some organs also can regenerate, but heart cell, brain, bone could regenerate. உடைஞ்சிடுச்சுன்னா fracture என்ன ஆகும்? Remodel ஆகும். Okay, but not entire organism நம்மளால வளர முடியாது. Okay, regeneration. Budding. What is budding? Okay, small bud arise and then it develops. Give me example of organism reproduced by budding. Hydra. Hydra is multicellular. My question is unicellular organism. What is the example of unicellular organism which can reproduce by budding? Hydra is plant or animal? Hydra is a plant or animal? It's an animal. Okay, give me example of unicellular organism. Yeast is an unicellular organism. Saccharomyces cerevisiae is an unicellular organism which can reproduce by budding. Okay, and then vegetative propagation. Vegetative part means what? So vegetative part means what? Root, stem, leaves. Reproductive part means reproduct. In a plant, there are root system, shoot system, whatever. Vegetative parts, reproductive parts. What are vegetative parts? Root, stem, leaf are vegetative parts. Flowers are the reproductive organ, sexual reproductive organ. So, if the development through flower, it is sexual. Okay, if from bodily part, it is called what? Vegetative propagation. Okay, any bodily part under proper condition, it is vegetative propagation. And what are vegetative propagules? Can you give me some examples of vegetative propagules? Do you remember vegetative propagules? Bulb in onion, eyes in potato, internodes in ginger, buds in bryophyllum, runners, offset, suckers, stolen. So they are what actually? Vegetative propagules. From that, the organism can reproduce. Is it clear? So that is vegetative propagation, like banana, orange, even stem. Okay, without seeds, hybridization or whatever, anything can be done. Okay, Fine. Vegetative propagation. Natural or artificial. What are the artificial vegetative propagation method? Naturally, it can grow with all vegetative propagules. How artificially vegetative propagation can be done? What are the artificial methods of vegetative propagation? Do you know cutting? Cutting, grafting, layering. Okay, cutting, grafting, layering are what? Artificial method of vegetative reproduction. Okay, fine. Cutting means what? A piece is cut and it is எங்க வீட்ல ஒரு முருங்கை மரம் இருக்கு, ஒரு பிரான்ச்சை உடைச்சு எடுத்துட்டு வந்து உங்க வீட்ல வைக்கிற, இது வளரும். This is called cutting. Stem alone is used. Grafting na என்ன? Okay, two people, ஒருத்தவங்க வீட்ல ஹைபிஸ்கஸ், இப்ப செம்பருத்தி இருக்கு, அவங்களோட செம்பருத்தி வந்து பிங்க் கலர், சிங்கிள் வால், பிங்க் கலர் சிங்கிள் வால் ஆஃப் பெட்டல்ஸ் இருக்கு. உங்க வீட்ல வந்து சேம் செம்பருத்தி தான், ரெட் கலர் மல்டிவல், ரெட் கலர் மல்டிவல். உங்ககிட்ட இருந்து ஸ்டெம்ல ஒரு பிரான்ச் எடுத்துட்டு வரேன், உங்ககிட்ட இருந்து ஸ்டெம்ல ஒரு பிரான்ச் எடுத்துட்டு வரேன், ரெண்டையும் இப்படி சேர்த்து வச்சு லைட்டா சீவிட்டு சேர்த்து வச்சு கட்டிடுறேன். This is called what? Grafting. Can you understand? There are many types in grafting, but two different parts onnu sekkradhu grafting. And now hybrid plant will be produced, somatic hybridization. This is also called what? Maybe, depends. Okay, some flowers are what? Pink multival. Some flowers may be depends upon what kind of character is dominant. Maybe pink multival or red single val. Any dominant characters can be expressed. Okay, when you propagate again and again the same plant, you may get different characters. Is it clear? So that is artificial vegetative propagation. And then now tissue culture. What is tissue culture? Plant tissue culture. What is plant tissue culture? Listen. Removing tissue from the plant and then you have to sterilize it. Sterilization means what? Cleaning the surface, okay, to make it contamination free. Take a piece of tissue, that piece is called what? Explant. What it is called? Explant. That is removed from the parent body and that should be added with what? After sterilization, it should be added into artificial medium. Okay, that medium, and then which develop into what? Callus. What is callus? Group of cells. Okay, actively dividing cells. Group of actively dividing cells called what? Callus. Okay, and then the callus has to be transferred to another medium containing hormones for growth and differentiation. And then what you can see? Plantlets. Okay, and this plantlet has to be grown from maybe other soil. Listen to me. Carrot cut பண்ணும்போது பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா? Carrot central cut பண்ணும்போது you can see a cambium tissue, pale pink ல இருக்கும். That is called cambium. That cambium will have meristematic activity. Take that cambium, small piece, sterilize it, prepare a medium. Adala you add that callus, means carrot tissue, and this carrot tissue develop into what? Callus. In the medium, callus develops. This callus should be added to a bigger tube. There it can develop into root, shoot and root. And then this can be ஒரு soil திருப்பியும் sampling பண்ணுவாங்க. Carrot plant is ready. அதுதான் சின்ன சின்ன கவர்ல மண்ணில் போட்டு தர்றது. So this method is called what? Vegetative propagation. You know now why we get banana? அப்பெல்லாம் banana ஒரு சீசனுக்கு ஒரு டைப் ஆஃப் banana தான் கிடைக்கும். இப்போ எல்லா bananaவும் எல்லா சீசன்லயும் கிடைக்குது because of vegetative propagation. Okay, and tissue culture, plant tissue culture. Okay, so all type of bananas can be produced. Okay, thank you. Spore formation and other method is fungus and all produces spores. Example, Rhizophus. Okay, spore formation is another example for what? Asexual reproduction. Fungi, bread mold, all these things. Thank you. Sexual reproduction maybe later. Kaushik, bye Kaushik.